And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. It's Gerald Glassford. Hopefully, you guys are seeing me a little bit clearer. Hopefully, I'm not a little tiny man to you guys, but if I am, I'm sorry. We're doing the Zoom thing. I know John Costa would be killing me right now. Right now, he's probably having a great laugh at this. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this and truly appreciate it. As we continue our NBA team previews, we're heading to the LA Clippers now. And I'll tell you what, they've been a source of the news right now that I don't think that they want as we do this interview here, but great to have here doing this interview today. Good man indeed. You have to check out his great work that he does each and every day right there as a sports journalist on the Clippers. I don't want to say the LA Clippers because I think he gets kind of offensive seeing his outline in his profile for Sports Illustrated and the Sporting Tribune. It is Justin Knobloch. Excuse me, it is Jared Knobloch. Jared, great to have you here. Truly cannot thank you enough. Had to switch over to Zoom here, but great to have you on the show, Jared.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right. Yes, I just saw the outline. Hey, San Diego. I love San Diego. Beautiful area of the country. I've been to it many times. I lived in SoCal, and I actually have visited frequently since I've been to Las Vegas. Some of the best fish tacos, and by the way, lucha libre burritos, best ever. I will say though that the Clippers, they've moved up to LA. They did what they did, but in doing so, there's been a little bit back and forth. As we record this, I know that people are already aware of the issues concerning, I guess, what's going on with Kawhi, the connection to the now defunct Aspiration and its owner, and how that's connected to the owner of the LA Clippers as far as Steve Ballmer and what it looks like. I know Steve Ballmer and the Clippers have vehemently denied any allegations of impropriety, but it doesn't look good, Jared. It doesn't look good, Jared, and it just does not seem to be a great way that you might be starting this season for the Clippers.
Yeah, so from what I'm kind of seeing from like my colleagues and stuff, obviously this is like there's not any official reporting. This is just like my speculation is like Steve is not an idiot, and a lot of reporting that's been going on Twitter and whatnot is like, okay, this is sure this is crazy, but is it doing anything like inconspicuous and foul? We're unsure. So I'm honestly just gonna wait till the full reporting because I know the NBA is doing an investigation right now, but everybody's kind of in agreement that it's like, yes, it is odd, but is there any like foul harm? Leaning towards no. We just kind of have to see what the NBA finds out. So it's a waiting game at this point.
Absolutely, it is right now. We'll see how this lines itself out, and I was able to go ahead and find the right view. Thank goodness I haven't totally embarrassed myself with my good friend John Costa. Again, John on his one of his side gigs works for Zoom, so I know he's going to be mercilessly roasting me for that. But I did want to ask you this though, when it
Yeah.
comes to what this could hang over the team. Do you want a quick resolution to this, whatever outcome it may be? Or do you think that the NBA will drag this out, as has previously been done with some of their previous investigations?
That's a good question. I personally think it just needs to be kind of one and done and get over with it because if it does drag out, I actually wrote about this like yesterday or the day before that um, this could like affect how their season starts. And, I use the example of Golden State. They always have had kind of something going on, and that affects their entire season, most notably, like obviously Draymond Green and Jordan Poole getting into it. So that affected that season. Right now, the Kuminga contract is affecting their training camp for this season. So for the Clippers, if they have this thing going on with Kawhi and, there's all this rumor going around, sure, it might not affect the basketball side, but as far as the mental side, which definitely can leak into the basketball side, like that's not what you want as a team, especially with your star player in Kawhi.
Absolutely. So one of the things that needs to be mentioned though with the Clippers, outside of this brewing controversy per se, or this brewing issue for the Clippers is also the fact that they have had a very active offseason. They've filled a lot of needs. Um, I've said before in previous interviews when talking about the Clippers, they have a lot of names on that roster right now, a lot of familiar names, a lot of experience. I know it is quite possibly one of the oldest, if not the oldest, NBA team on record going into the season on average age and whatnot. But again, when the Clippers went out and they addressed their needs, they came so close to defeating the Denver Nuggets and should have defeated Denver Nuggets for, you know, all intents and purposes. I mean, as someone who can sit on the outside and watch that series, the Clippers had it early on. They let a game slip away. Thank you, Aaron Gordon, for that, I guess. Or no, thank you, Aaron Gordon. I just want to say though that the Clippers feel like they're in a place where they can compete because I know a lot of prognosticators are looking at OKC, Houston, and Denver. The LA Clippers, with who they got in, seemingly might be able to, if everything fell right, might be able to break down that door and say, you know what, we're part of that group as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely give him a punter's chance. It's one of those things where it's like you don't count out James Harden and Kawhi, you don't count out LeBron, you don't count out Steph. All these older guys, you never count them out because they're all stars, they're Hall of Famers for a reason. I do think the age is a factor, and obviously Kawhi is notorious for load managing somehow one way or another. So I think it's just like a matter of can they make it healthily into the playoffs, if that's a word. Um, and if they can, then sure, yeah, they can definitely make some noise. Obviously, they got to get through OKC, Denver. I personally think that Denver picking up Cam Johnson like massively increased like their odds. I think they're a much better team now. So they have to get through Denver and then obviously LA and Golden State, and who knows what Memphis is going to do. So there's a ton of teams in the West. Everybody knows this year is super super stacked as far as the West is concerned. Not to mention Houston now has Kevin Durant, like they were the 2 seed last year. So it's just like 82 games if they're healthy and they're old, like that's what we got to wait for.
What do you like about what the Clippers addressed in the offseason?
I definitely think picking up Brooke Lopez to get a backup for Zubac was a very, very smart move. I'm unsure about Bradley Beal. Obviously, like on paper, he's a great player. He can put up 30 points when he wants to. The question is, can he put egos to the side and kind of like take a backseat role? Because obviously your 1-2 guys are Kawhi and James Harden. That's undisputed. So can Bradley Beal be that third guy and come in? And I think he's starting. I think they're gonna have him in a starting role. So it's like, can he be that, 15 to 20 point and then get hot on a certain night? It's just there's a lot of stars or former stars on this team because obviously Chris Paul's having that 1 year reunion. But it's just how can they manage that? And I do think credit to Ty Lue. If there was a coach that could do it, I would say Ty Lue's on that list because he's dealt with stars and he's not a young coach either. So I'd say this is a good roster for him.
Again, it fills a lot of needs. In essence, if the your team, the experienced team that they are, plays anywhere near, in some cases, to what they played in the past, it could be a very deep team, which, as you know, seeing what OKC has done with their depth, what Houston has done to address their depth, Denver has done, having depth is a key thing to have heading into the season for a long 82 game season, but also to try different things in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, so I agree to that last point. When I have the Clippers making the playoffs for sure. I don't think it'll be a higher seed. I think it'll be a 4, 5, or 6. But if they get in the playoffs, like that experience will definitely help. Again, the youth of OKC and the youth of Houston, minus Kevin Durant, obviously, but that will be a pro to them, but also a negative. I mean, Golden State beat Houston simply due to experience. I think the Clippers can do the same in any situation. It just depends on what the matchup is. And I do like that they are bigger and lengthier and now that uh they have, floor spacing. Um, we'll see. I don't think any of the younger guys are gonna get play. I think this is gonna be a heavy veteran team this upcoming season.
Does that bother you at all that that's the case? Because they obviously had the first round draft choice, the kid from Penn State, the 7 footer there, who might be a 4 or 5 hybrid type player. They do have a couple younger players on the roster, but does that bother you at all that it's going to be a heavily veteran laden team?
I would say no. And the reason for that is because yes, OKC did just win the championship being like extremely young, but that is an outlier in the sense of like championships over the years. There are teams that typically I obviously this is me guesstimating. Most championship level teams are probably in the age range of 29 to 33. And so yes, they do have the oldest team, but like they're still NBA caliber players. Like these guys are professional athletes. I don't see why they couldn't go all the way if everything lines up.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Once again, it is Jared Knobloch. Please go ahead and check out the great work that he is doing today at Sports Illustrated and also for on SI at Sports Illustrated and also as well the Sporting Tribune as well. When you cover the Clippers, I mean, obviously, as Lakers fans, you know how we are. I don't have to go into elaborate detail on it, but it is the fact that, the Clippers have come into LA, been there, established there many years now as a team that quite frankly, in the NBA circles has been thought of as an also ran. So what needs to happen in order to break out of that? This is a longer part of the of conversation because with the Clippers, you know it's just the fact that the Clippers are thought of in a different sense than the Lakers because the Lakers have been more established there, have a wider fan base, etc., etc. What does the Clippers need to do? I think moving out of the Staples Center was a great start. The Intuit Dome, despite what the aspiration deals and all that stuff as far as it's concerned, is absolutely a beautiful arena. It is very expensive. The $80 parking right next door is
Yeah.
still an issue of mine. I'm from Inglewood. I was actually born, um, let's say, from the Intuit Dome. I think I'd probably say a quarter of a mile from there.
Okay.
Actually, it was closer to the Forum. Actually, when you look at it, because there's the Sizzler right there. I see when I can tell you there's the Sizzler that I've eaten at, and then across the street is the Forum, and then of course
Yeah.
the football stadium, and then the Intuit Dome. I have a fondness for the city of Inglewood, but in doing so, the Intuit Dome allows the Clippers to have their own identity. Tell me how important it was to move for the Clippers to get out of that shadow and move into somewhere where they could branch their own identity in the city of Los Angeles.
I mean, I think it's super important. I mean, after going into a dome, and I've been to a few sporting arenas, as in my time as a reporter, like it is easily the best arena I have been to. I have nothing but good things to say about it. And the players themselves, like I remember Devin Booker was quoted like saying what they've done as an opposing team is just like they just like clap their hands. Like that's all they can do. They really, really appreciate what Ballmer has done, what the Clippers have done. The stadium's beautiful. The fans love it. I love that the idea was kind of a basketball amusement park,
Mm-hmm.
so that fans could just enjoy the game, but also do things after, which is kind of unheard of in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like setting themselves apart from the Lakers and LA in the sense, it's like making their own brand. As someone looking outside in, because I was born and raised here in San Diego, like I don't think that'll ever happen. You see the Chargers, I guess even the Angels, even though they're Anaheim, or I guess now they're LA. I'll always think of them as the Anaheim Angels.
What?
Like
I used to be an Angels fan. It was funny because they've given themselves 5 different names: California Angels, Los
yeah,
Angeles Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Anaheim Angels. They don't even. It's trying to grab an identity away from the Dodgers and the Lakers. As someone again who has frequented San Diego and absolutely loves the city, it just saddens me that the Clippers and the Chargers want to decide to go ahead and seek other refuge. But I know that you're familiar with the Chargers, and I can understand when it comes to the Chargers because when you leave the Lakers facility in El Segundo, you just go down the street and to the right, then it starts all blue, all powder blue with the Chargers. So you can see the huge, massive Chargers facility. So I can say, okay, I get why the Chargers moved there. And now with the Clippers, they're having that same mindset with Ballmer as far as we need to create our own identity and something there, but it's still the charm away from San Diego, especially the fact that the logo reminds me even more now. The new logo reminds me even more of San Diego. So I don't know. I don't know. So it's so much hard. The more they want to get away and try to create their own identity, the closer seemingly they that to me that they should realize that San Diego is still probably the best place they should have stayed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely biased here, but I think we are a sports town here in San Diego.
Mhm.
Obviously, you look at the Padres, but I don't see the Clippers ever escaping that shadow in a sense. They can do the best that they can,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, LA is the Lakers town, it's the Dodgers town, it's the Rams town. Those teams are always going to be number one because they've been there longer.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like that's just the way it is. They can do the best they can, but I think they should come back to San Diego because that would be awesome. But it won't happen, especially because they spent $2 billion building a new stadium.
Yeah, I think that ship, unfortunately, using the pun there, has sailed for both those teams because I just seen the amount of money that they poured into it for both those teams in Los Angeles, and I realized, yeah, it's just not going to happen. But again, I just as someone who admires the city of San Diego, and just knows that there's incredible culture there, it's just a shame indeed. But getting back to the Clippers, and as far as the players in there, who do you think needs to make a statement? Kawhi, obviously, if however many games he plays, like for instance, with Joel Embiid, I had a conversation where it was over under 50 games or over under 40 games or 50 games. And then I think you could probably play that same game with Kawhi. But for Kawhi, it's about making sure he's available for a run in the playoffs. I get that. I understand that. But who else needs to make a statement this year to help this team win and get them in position for a run in the playoffs? We know Harden had a third team All NBA year last year, trying to reach back into his past at age 35, I believe it was. Who else do you think needs to make a statement this year?
I'm my first inclination, obviously discounting Kawhi and James Harden, is Bradley Beal. I mean, that's why they went and got him, is
Mhm.
because they need a third guy to really like stand up and get buckets. And like you said, James Harden had a pretty good year last year. He's an all-star. He kind of carried them most of the season since Kawhi was gone. And we know what Kawhi needs to do already, so it's not necessarily a sleeper pick. But I really truly believe that if Bradley Beal plays well and like buys into whatever role Ty Lue wants to give him, that team's going to be much better than before.
Okay. And I agree. And obviously, a key to all this is the continuing success of one Ivica Zubats. I have on the
Yes.
show on my channel. Uh, we have me and one of my favorite viewers, one of our most frequent viewers, JSJ. We go back and forth, who talks about Ivica Zubats more because I am still to this day ticked off at the trade that went down.
Yes.
And I also lobbied for Mike Muscala to change his name legally to Mike Effin Muscala because of the fact that I'm so. That's what I always say. I says yes for Mike Effin Muscala. We traded for Mike Effin Muscala.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magic. So as much as I love Magic Johnson,
He was not necessarily the best GM.
yeah, yes, exactly. You said it as well as I could. And there it is in a nutshell. But Rob Palenka was in the room too. And Rob is another story in that. But yeah, Ivica Zubats, he does something that rarely or it doesn't happen enough. They sign the big contract and they play actually better after they sign the new contract, which to me totally impressed me. But I saw growth with him. I saw the fact that he could have been a center that the Lakers should have kept. I also think that the fact that right now his skills would have fit Luka to a T, regardless, and also, or if they had not traded for Luka, would have made AD's life a lot easier and happier. It just goes to show you how he has progressed and how much he took away from being traded to the Clippers, being put in an environment that he could excel at, and how great he is right now. We are seeing at the limits of what I think Ivica Zubac can do, but that is pretty darn good.
Yeah, I really think Harden kind of unlocked him last season. I mean, I
Mm.
think going, I don't remember when exactly it was, but there was a quote where he's like, I really want him and I to, get a PNR going, pick and rolls. And that's what they did. I mean, he was I think he was top three in MIP voting this year. He didn't win the award, but I'm pretty sure he
And then
got
also
a few
defensive
votes.
player of the year, just a tremendous rebounder.
Yes.
He's improved as far as the rim protection. I've noticed. I've kept an eye on him because of what I thought he was going to be, and I agree with you. His rise as a center, and again, I just think he's one of the best or one of the better centers out there, and just something that I had seen was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to be even to this level because he's exceeded even my expectations. But I'll tell you what, to see him and what he can do, it's just really a credit to the work he's put in as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think without Harden, I don't know if I could fully say he was going to make that leap. Sure, he's getting older and he's getting better and he's getting more experience and whatnot, but he went from, 8-5 probably to now, 15-10 a night, sometimes 20 and 15 a night. If on like he can rebound and he can put up, close into the post buckets. Is he a shooter? No, but that's fine. Like that's what Harden's good at is having him come up and set a pick, roll to the basket, throw him a lob or throw him the ball on a mismatch, and he's gonna go in and get it. He's 7 feet tall. He's big. He can bully you in the post. He's definitely just a very, very good basketball player in that system. And, I'm sure the Clippers are grateful for that.
Absolutely. And one of the better defenders against Nikola Jokic, but adding Lopez, also having John Collins, who we'll talk about here in a sec. Even the kid, the 7 foot kid from Conan.
Yes.
I can't wait until you
The draft
till
pick.
you guys your team puts out the Conan stuff during a timeout or after a great play he makes, like a Conan Arnold Schwarzenegger, like a little clip of that doing making out there every time he scores a basket. But I can't wait for that to happen. But uh, I will say though, again, he's got a lot more bodies around him because that was one of the biggest weaknesses that you had on the Clippers team was the fact that you didn't have enough size to go around as far as backing up Ivica Zubac. How much more beneficial do you think it will be having a abundance now? Not an abundance, but a good amount of size to go along with what's out there. Knowing the fact is that you're seeing these other teams like Houston, OKC, and others playing dual bigs.
I mean, yeah, now they can kind of go head to head with OKC and Houston, like you mentioned. Bringing on Lopez as a championship level defender. I mean, he won with the Bucks in 21, so he knows how to play his role and he knows how to do it well. He also can stretch the floor, which, again, for Harden, and I'm going to use him because he's the team's point guard. Using Zubac to roll is great, but then if he wants to stretch the floor and have Lopez slide out to the 3-point line and open up the paint for a drive or a kick, like they have options now, which they didn't have before. And so this whole team makeup's going to be completely different.
Absolutely indeed. It looks like there's going to be a lot of options, a lot of names, a lot of experience heading into this season. But again, like we go back to one last thing on the age issue. Age has seen its way with propensity for injuries, things of that nature. how much do they have left. In fact, with the Lakers, LeBron put so much energy in during parts of the season that he would, and also in the playoffs, we saw there might be an issue as far as how much you can play him in certain segments of the game, in certain segments of the playoffs, as far as if playing him 38, 42 minutes. It is taxing for someone at an older age. And be that said, we've already seen an injury for the Clippers in EuroLeague basketball as of this recording with Bogdanovich
Yeah.
sustaining a tear. We don't know the level or grade, or at least I'm not aware what grade it is at this point in time as far as the tear is concerned. So we don't know how long he is going to be out of action for. But tell me, do you have any concerns about fielding what I think will go down right now? I think it's heard in passing as one of the NBA's oldest ever teams.
I mean, it's like I said earlier, it's just kind of uh, navigating the regular season. I think they'll be able to make the playoffs. Obviously, with the injury with Bogdanovich, they do lose a little bit of shooting, but he didn't necessarily like make a large impact, or at least as much as people thought he was going to come. Like he came from Atlanta, and he was kind of the yin to Trey's yang. Like they both shot the ball well.
Mhm.
But here in LA, he kind of was, 5 to 10 points a game is a little bit quieter. So I'm not necessarily worried about him missing some time. As you mentioned, John Collins is a huge pickup, and definitely flies under the radar with all the star names going around. I definitely think he provides some youth as well. It's just, again, it's can Kawhi stay healthy for the playoffs? Can James kind of stay healthy and carry the team and make a run in the postseason?
So before we head on out and before my Zoom limit, because I just started up, it's the first time in years that I actually started up a Zoom conversation, and I didn't even know we had a time limit now, but Zoom, and I'll talk to John Costa on that. I'll say, what's going on with your company, man? On that, where do you see the Clippers if everything goes right?
Ah, there's so many variables. Assuming that they make it into the playoffs as like a 5 or a 6 seed, if they can get matched against Houston, who will probably be a 1 or a 2, um, well, I guess if they were matched 1 or 2, I don't know. There's this West is just so stacked. I'm scared to even make a prediction because of how many different things can happen. Um, I could see them making the Western Conference Finals. I do think that OKC winning the championship and now having that deep playoff experience, like they're the overwhelming favorites. And so I'm gonna go the safe route and say they've got to get through the Thunder. But I definitely think they can make some noise. It's just a matter of health. Everything stays quiet, nothing crazy. Obviously, this aspiration thing, we'll see what happens. But as long as they're healthy and they're feeling good, I don't see why they couldn't do it.
Before I give you a chance to do what I call the cheap plug on what you're working on and what you want people to go ahead and check out, any thoughts on what the Lakers will do this season? How far do you think their season will go?
I think if Aiton can play well, I mean that's kind of the big question that's being asked right now. Luka's gonna do Luka, and LeBron's gonna do LeBron, even at 45 million years old. Um, they'll be in the playoffs. I think they'll do well. Again, that's also a matchup thing. The entire West is just matchups. It's seriously just matchups, and we'll have to see it unless Luka gets injured, which I don't see happening, and LeBron taking extended time off. I mean, he did. I don't know how many games he played last season, but I know that there were stretches where he was out for like a week or so. But I definitely think their retool is a lot better. Marcus Smart's a good perimeter defender. It's just depending on how healthy he can stay because he's a bit older as well. So I definitely think if I had to throw out a top six right now, I could see Nuggets, Lakers, Houston, Clippers. I want to say Spurs if they do well, and then the rest is kind of up for grabs. I mean, Golden State as well. Can't forget about them. Yeah, it's the West is stacked this year. We'll
It
have to
is.
see.
Absolutely. As I've had my interviews with the Eastern Conference teams, I can sense a little bit of envy as far as the stacked rosters, but also the fact that if their team can be very advantageous in the East to get through a little bit weakened East so far.
Yeah.
So this season upcoming. So looking forward to seeing what the NBA team will let out. The NBA season will let itself out as far as it's concerned. But once again, it is Jared Knobloch. Please go ahead and follow him. But before I wanted to go ahead and give you the time to go ahead and talk about where you're at, I do want to mention that this was such a fantastic interview, and I truly appreciate you joining us. I'm hoping you will join us during the course of the season. But where can they catch during the course of the season? Our fans, our followers, our listeners, our viewers of this channel, where can they follow your great work?
Yeah, so I currently work for the Sporting Tribune. You can check out my articles on there. Mostly LA Clippers and San Diego Clippers content. And then I'm also a writer for On SI, which is a Sports Illustrated website. We cover a vast different amount of teams, such as Clippers, Warriors, Spurs, Pelicans, a lot of Western Conference teams. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's jknobloch8. And I'm just excited to be here. I'd love to come back on and talk about more basketball. That's always fun for me. So I appreciate being here.
Absolutely. I appreciate you being here. Uh, I will try to work out the issues with Talk Studio or StreamYard for you to make it easier for you because this Zoom 40-minute thing I'm not really in love with. And I'm going to again tell my good friend, Mr. John Costa, who's on our panel, about that and lay into him on that. But of course, it is, of course, Jared Knobloch. Please go ahead and follow his great work on the San Diego Clippers, the LA Clippers. By the way, it's San Diego Clippers, the G League team of the
Yes.
LA Clippers. Wanted to go ahead and mention that as well. It is, of course, the great work that he's doing with On SI at Sports Illustrated. And also, don't forget just all the great work that he's doing out there. Cannot thank him enough. Cannot thank you enough, Jared, for the time that you put into this. But any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
No, I just enjoy being here. Hopefully the Clippers do well. We'll have to see. Uh, I'm just looking forward to the basketball season start. We've only got a month left.
I only got a month, and again, as far as the aspiration scandal, we will hopefully get a chance, you and I, to revisit that once a decision has been made, and hopefully, once again, when we can go ahead and get things squared away. But truly appreciate you taking the time to speak to me again, Jared Knobloch from SI, and also as well the Sporting Tribune. Please go ahead, follow him on Twitter, and excuse me, follow him on Twitter. Make sure you go ahead and check out all the great work that he's doing today. And from all of us to all of you out there, please like and subscribe to what we're doing each and every day, each and every time out right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.